They say the dead don't shop. But in some places, they never really leave the aisles. Victor never believed in that kind of thing until he worked the night shift at a rundown supermarket just outside Bucharest. What he witnessed in aisle number 9 was something no amount of logic could explain. And to this day, that aisle remains permanently closed. Victor was 27, an architecture graduate turned night stalker, working graveyard shifts to make ends meet. The supermarket was quiet at night, too quiet, and the security lights always flickered in the far corners. One section had always been sealed off with plywood and caution tape. Aisle 9, no one talked about it. Just an old fire, they said. But then, renovations happened. Aisle 9 was reopened. The first night after aisle 9 reopened, Victor was restocking paper towels when he heard a clattering noise, like a cart rolling over loose tiles, coming from aisle 9. He checked the CCTV. Nothing. But when he walked to aisle 9, there were faint tread marks, cartwheels, leading up to his feet. No cart, no customer. Over the next few nights, things got worse. Boxers would fall from shelves. Motion sensors would activate on their own. And then, there was the perfume. Each time Victor passed aisle 9, he caught the scent of burning flowers. Sweet and acrid. Like a funeral bouquet scorched in a fire. He asked his manager, Anna, about the aisle. Her face turned pale. There was a woman, she said, a long time ago. She died there. Fire accident. She was trapped behind fallen shelves during a blackout. Some say she's still waiting for help. Victor didn't believe it until the fourth night. It was 2:33 a.m. The security monitor flickered, and for a split second, he saw someone standing, absolutely still, at the center of aisle 9. He rushed down the hallway. No one but the air. It was colder, heavy, than a rustle. He turned and saw her, a woman, mid-30s, soaked in shadow, wearing a dress from another time. She looked lost, confused, until her head turned toward him. Her eyes were black hollows. Her mouth opened wide, too wide, and a low, suffocating sound came out, like a scream underwater. Victor stumbled back. The lights exploded above him. Shelves began to shake. Boxers fell, then complete silence. When he looked again, she was gone, but left behind was a scorched name tag. Mirella. Victor quit that very night. Anna didn't ask questions. She only nodded, as if she'd expected it. Aisle 9 was closed again, this time with padlocks and heavy chains. Some say they hear wheels rolling in the dark, even now. Others, like Anna, leave offerings near the entrance, a flower, a candle, a whisper, "You're not forgotten." They say ghosts are just memories that refuse to fade. But Mirella wasn't a memory. She was there, waiting, and aisle number 9 was her home. So the next time you shop late at night and feel a cold breeze by the shelves, don't look behind you. Don't answer the rolling cart, and whatever you do, stay out of aisle number 9. Have you ever heard a whisper where there should be none? In a supermarket outside Bremen, one woman heard something in the stockroom, something that mimicked her voice. But when she turned to respond, she realized it wasn't an echo. It was calling her. Leonie was 32, quiet, dependable, and used to silence. She'd worked night shift at the Coolmarkt supermarket for nearly 5 years. Her job was simple: log inventory, receive the deliveries, and stock before morning. But since last week, something had changed. Boxes were found half-opened, frozen meat thawed and refrozen, and sometimes, she swore she heard her name. Not over the radio, not from a person, but from inside the stockroom, deep past the freezers. She told her supervisor. He laughed.
"Maybe the rats are getting fluent,"
he joked. But Leonie wasn't amused. She knew that tone. It wasn't her voice. It was something trying to sound like her. 2 nights later, while reorganizing the dairy section, the lights flickered. She heard it again, a soft, almost perfect copy of her voice.
Leonie, calm. Mal.
She froze. The voice came from the cold storage room. She was alone. No delivery scheduled. No staff inside. Still, she moved toward the voice. Slowly, hesitantly. The temperature dropped with each step. When she entered, the room was quiet, except for the faint hum of compressors. Then, she saw something. A figure standing between shelves, motionless. It looked like her. Same height, same hair, same uniform. But the face, it wasn't finished. It was blurred. Like someone trying to remember what a human looked like. Leonie dropped the clipboard. The sound echoed unnaturally, like it bounced against invisible walls. The figure turned slowly. Its mouth opened, wide, wider than human. From inside came the voice again.
Leonie!
She ran. But the thing didn't follow. When she told her manager the next morning, he checked the cameras. The footage showed her walking in, but no figure. No one else. Not even a shadow. He called her paranoid. She quit that night, but 2 weeks later, the replacement staff, Annika, disappeared. Only her coat was found, hanging on the freezer door handle. The cameras, blank. The stockroom was sealed permanently. Now it's used for bulk dry goods. Nothing that requires cold. No one talks about the freezer hallway anymore. But every once in a while, a worker reports hearing their name whispered from the back. And when they turn, no one's there, except maybe themselves. Staring from around the corner. Supermarkets are designed to feel safe, familiar, controlled. But the night shift changes everything. It exposes the cracks, the shadows behind the shelves. And in northern Germany, some of those shadows are learning how to wear your face. In supermarkets, there's always one aisle you never visit, unless you have to. But what if that aisle won't let you leave? This is the story of Christoph, a man who entered aisle 9 one night, and never really came back. Christoph was 45, divorced, quiet, worked night shifts at Marche du Sud, a local supermarket off the main road to Marseille. His job was to restock shelves, lock up at dawn, and enjoy the silence. But on November 2nd, 2023, silence became his enemy. It started with a power blink. Aisle 9, the canned goods aisle, went dark for 2 seconds. Then the lights returned, but shifted. Products were rearranged, labels backward, and the temperature dropped. At first, Christoph thought it was a prank. He reset the shelf, took a break. But when he returned 10 minutes later, it had changed again. Now the aisle seemed longer. He walked it, counted the steps. 22. He turned back, and had to walk again. 29 steps. Then, a whisper, not a word, a breath, just behind his ear. He turned, no one. Only a jar rolling across the floor. Tomato paste. But it wasn't from their brand. He'd never seen that label before. Handwritten, in red. It read, Ravani. Christoph panicked. He called the floor manager, but the line gave static, and a voice, his own voice, repeating,
"Don't leave. Not yet."
He ran to the entrance. The glass doors reflected only darkness. But behind him, his reflection stood still. Then came the sound of shopping carts, rolling across the tiles, no one pushing them. They formed a barricade behind him, metal grinding, as if the building itself didn't want him gone. He sprinted to the stockroom, locked himself in, breathing hard. He checked the CCTV monitor. Every aisle was empty, except aisle 9. There stood himself, staring directly into the camera. Christoph never spoke again. The morning crew found him sitting inside the freezer, shivering, eyes wide open. He wouldn't respond. He just kept whispering,
"I'm not me. I'm still in there."
He was taken to a facility. Doctors called it traumatic dissociation, but the staff called it something else. They called it the aisle effect. They sealed aisle 9, removed the signs, but sometimes, when someone stalks late, the lights flicker. And on the camera, there's always one frame, where someone stands too still, and looks a little too much like you. In southern France, there's a rule now: never enter aisle 9 alone. If you do, you may leave the store, but something else might leave with you. They say the night is quiet, but sometimes, the silence isn't empty, it's listening. Sometimes, the aisles remember those who walk them, and something or someone walks back. So the next time you shop after dark, check the mirrors, count your footsteps, and if you hear your name whispered from behind the shelves, don't turn around. It's not always you they're calling. Sometimes, they're just practicing. Subscribe if you still want to make it to morning.